Matt, of course, you saw the game. Very disappointing performance from the boys, but let's hear a reaction about this game.
Look, mate, 25 hours on the plane from Australia for that, and I'm fucking filthy, unfortunately. The performance was easily the worst of the season, like by far. By far. The effort was horrible. Obviously, the Everton result didn't go our way, you know? And they seemed to be a bit flat from that. Maybe it was that, I don't know. The performance just wasn't good enough. I can't believe Everton beat Brighton 5-1. Just looking at that, and look, we've bottled it. That's it. That's all I can say. Yeah.
Can we say it's like overconfidence actually not affected the lads today? Because last week, the one at St. James Park, 2-0, you agree with me that it was a difficult game. And you could see that Brighton lost the last game to Everton, 5-0 at home. Could you say it was overconfidence that actually not affected the lads today?
You can't blame that, unfortunately. You can't blame overconfidence. They knew that they had to get the 3 points. You know, even though it was probably unlikely we're going to win the league from here, 3 points, and then City have 3 hard games.
Yeah.
Brentford away is not a gimme. Brighton away is not a gimme. Chelsea at home, although they've been deplorable this season, it's not a gimme as well. So we had to get the 3 points. You can't blame overconfidence. It was a very good performance by Brighton as well, I must admit, and they were very good defensively all day. And it didn't look like we wanted it enough. It was just very disappointing, mate. Yeah.
Could we say this is the end of the road for Arsenal?
Well, end of the road for Arsenal, it depends what you mean by
And then this season?
Yeah, so obviously it is the end of the road. So that's it. That's the title gone. Unfortunately, we've thrown ourselves out of 2 cups as well. Sorry, 3 cups. Europa League, FA Cup and League Cup. We didn't take them seriously enough. Obviously, we threw ourselves out here to Brighton in the League Cup. FA Cup as well was a hard game. The Europa League was unacceptable though. And we're getting to the point where Arteta, unfortunately, he's won 1 trophy in 4 seasons. And it's getting to the point where it's not acceptable, you know? It's obviously we're going to focus on the league because we're 8 points clear. I understand that. When you're throwing yourself out of 3 cups like that, looking back now at 0 trophies, and people here telling me it was a good season. We've won nothing. We've won nothing for 3 seasons now. It's getting to the point where things need to change, you know? Yeah.
Of course, next season, back in the Champions League, no doubt about it. Which player do you want to see in an Arsenal shirt next season, and which player do you think should leave the club next season?
Well, obviously there's a few that can leave the club. We need a few to leave the club. I can go on for ages about that. Rob Holding is not good enough. Reece Nelson's not good enough. Eddie Nketiah is not good enough. There's plenty more. I'm sure Pepe will probably head out the door. Obviously, Declan Rice I'd love to sign. If they want 100 million, I'd probably slap it on the table. Just pay the money. Just pay the money, seriously, if we want to compete. But then we need a backup striker. We need a backup central defender. We need a backup central midfielder or defensive midfielder. So there's probably 4 main positions that we really need to go for. So, yeah, four players. We need Rice, obviously, or Caicedo, and then, 3 other players. So 4 minimum.
What's been the fan base of Arsenal in Australia?
Sorry, what was that?
Like the fan base of Arsenal in Australia, how's it been like?
Yeah, look, obviously we all gather around in Melbourne for the games at the Crafty. It's great fun. We came to Sydney maybe 5 years ago, which was a great experience. Look, I know people will be gutted down in Australia. I think it's about 4 a.m. right now. You know, it's a Monday morning. People have got to go to work, and people have woken up at 1:30. Games finish at 3:30. People will be pissed off. You know, I feel bad for the Aussies at home for that. I've come all this way for it. We're 8 points clear. It's unacceptable. Personally, I'd want the manager out. I'd actually want him out. If there's an Ancelotti or a Simeone on the table, I'd take him in a heartbeat. At the end of the day, 1 trophy in 4 seasons is not acceptable. Not acceptable for me. I want to compete for trophies. I want to compete for all these, the League Cup, FA Cup, Europa League. It was there for the taking. We're in the Champions League next season, but we got knocked out of the round of 16 every single time we were in it last time. I think the last 4 or 5 seasons, it was out. I want to start competing in that. I want to get far in that. I want to try harder in the FA Cup, harder in the League Cup. And I want to win trophies next season because, for me, what if we go another season with no trophy? That's 1 trophy in 5 seasons. Is that acceptable for Arteta? Is it? Not for me.
Do you think Arsenal have that bulk of money to actually slash on players?
We do. Yeah, we've got it in there. We definitely have it. We bid, 90 million on Caicedo, over 80 million for Mudryk. We've got the money. I know. Look how expensive a season ticket is for here. It's, over £1,300 a year. They've got the money. Fly Emirates is our sponsor. Of course we've got the money. And we need to do that on a Rice or a Caicedo. We need a backup striker, a backup centre mid, a backup centre back. Because at the end of the day, City's squad depth is a lot better than ours. And then Chelsea are going to improve, Liverpool are going to improve, especially them two. And then, you know, it just becomes harder.
If you're with the lad, before I just let you go, if you're with the lad in the dressing room right now, what would you say to them?
There's not much you can really say at this point. You know, there's not much you can really say. Like it's not worth spraying them. It's over now. It's over now. They've had a great first half of the season, but ideally, I'm not going to have a go at them for today. It was already over at West Ham. It was already over when we drew 3-3 at Southampton. What's the point of going at them today? It was all over. So yeah, it's just those two games to blame, I think. Yeah.
Are you looking forward to like a good return in the Champions League next season?
Again, round of 16, we've done it before. Obviously the fans, it wasn't acceptable when we get knocked out of round of 16 every year. We weren't happy with fourth at the time. We got rid of Wenger because he was coming fourth every year. So if people are going to be accepting the round of 16, getting knocked out of there, I'm not going to be happy personally. I'd like to give it a crack, spend big money, get a Rice, get another striker, maybe a Vlahovic, and attack. Personally, I would get rid of the manager. I'd go for Simeone. I'd go for Ancelotti. Let's be ambitious. Let's go. You know.
Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you very much.